Am I audible? Please write in the comment section yes or no. Am I audible and visible? Please tell me. Please tell me, am I audible? Once again, am I audible? Now the board is clear, yes or no? Please tell me yes or no. The board is audible or not? Because you know that for internet buffering, I have to actually stop the previous live streaming. Now we have to go for this. Okay. So now I am starting with this from here. Name of the female Elizabethan sonnet writers. This was your question. What actually I have given you previous night. Okay. So the answer is very simple. You should keep in your mind. It is Lady Mary Roth. Okay. Some book says 105 sonnets is written by Lady Mary Roth. Others 101 sonnets. And it was published in 1624. Where it was published? Again I say, where it was published? It was published in Lady Montgomery's Urania. Very important thing you should keep in your mind. Urania. Okay? I am just waiting for you. Just write down Urania. Okay? So, previous night, what we actually have taught sonnetiers. In Elizabethan periods, we have taught sonnetiers, the sonnet writers. I think you have the idea about the sonnet. Last day, I have discussed with you what is sonnet, how the sonnet is structurized, what is the division, classification, each and everything, the difference between Petrarchan sonnet and Shakespearean sonnet. Okay, the chronological periods of history of English literature. Where I was teaching with you that you should keep in your mind the chronological order. Okay, Old English period, you have Middle English period, you have Elizabeth Chaucerian period, next post-Chaucerian period, age of revival, then you have Elizabethan period, then you have, after Elizabethan period, you have Jacobean period, Caroline period, Civil War period, Restoration period, then Neoclassical period, where I was talking that Neoclassical period was divided into two parts previous day. Okay, Augustan period and age of Johnson, that means age of Dr. Samuel Johnson. Today I actually going to discuss with these of that each and everything. Next we have pre-romantic period, romantic period, Victorian period, and finally you all know that modernism and postmodernism. Okay, so just we recall. This is the recall session. Last day, what we have taught, now we recall. We try to understand that what actually we have taught last day. Okay, so I am waiting for you, and I am just taking some times from you. Just I want to set up my laptop. As a matter of fact, I can read your comments. Okay, so this is Billy Shari, and am I audible? Yes. Okay, thank you. So next. Okay, so I'm starting with the sonnet writers. You all know that Thomas Watt, Earl of Surrey, whose another name is Henry Howard. You all know these or that. Next, Edmund Spencer. Just write down the name. Edmund Spencer. Next, Sir Philip Sidney. William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare. Next, you have Lady Mary Roth. Lady Mary Roth. Then you have Michael Drayton and Samuel Daniel. When I will discuss with you about sonnet and the important sonneteers, then I will discuss with you broadly each and every concept about sonnet. Previous day I have discussed with you that the sonnet is divided into two parts, octave and sestet. Octave consists 8 lines, sestet consists 6 lines, and I have actually recited a poem, sonnet number 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling birds of May. Sometimes to hot thy of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. Every fair for fair sometime declined, by chance or nature changing course untrimmed. By thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lost positions of thou underest, nor death can thou back underest growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this and this gives life to thee. This is sonnet number 18, William Shakespeare. So today I just tell you the most important thing. So why we actually recall Thomas Watt, because his sonnet actually published in Tortle's Miscellany. Tortle's Miscellany. Very important thing you should keep in your mind. Tortle's Miscellany. Okay. And next you have Edmund Spencer. His sonnet collection is called as Amorette. Amorette. Okay. Very important thing. Next, Sir Philip Sidney, which is called as Astrophel and Stella. Astrophel and you just check it. Astrophel and Stella. Okay. Then you have William Shakespeare. His sonnet sequence is called as only sonnets. Sonnets. Okay. Wrote 154 sonnets, for whom I will discuss with you detail. Okay. Next, Lady Mary Roth. Pamphylia to Amphilanthus. I just want to read your comments. Any comments? Okay, I will give you all details. I will provide you WhatsApp number. Then you can easily join. You can easily access our class. Okay. So the most good evening, Argham Mukhopadhyay. Good evening. So today I am going to talk about Samuel Daniel, Michael Drayton, Lady Mary Roth, William Shakespeare. So just remember, these questions you can find out in your matching question. These are really very important. In your matching question you can find out Thomas Watt, Tortle's Miscellany, Earl of Surrey, Henry Howard also, Tortle's Miscellany. Just you should keep in your mind. Then you have Edmund Spencer, Amorette, very important. Philip Sidney, Astrophel and Stella. William Shakespeare sonnet sequence is called as sonnets, 154 sonnet. And then you have Michael Drayton and Samuel Daniel. Samuel Daniel sonnet sequence is called Delia. Just write down this Delia. And Lady Mary Roth, it is Pamphylia to Amphilanthus. One female sonnet writers, very important, Pamphylia to Amphilanthus. Just you write down the name of this Lady Mary Roth. Very important for Gujarat state, West Bengal state and December 2025 NET exam. Very, very important. Okay, next I will discuss with you sonnet. Previous night I have discussed with you sonnet is nothing. It is a small poem or little song which is written in 14 lines iambic pentameter. So, what is iambic pentameter? This is a very important question. When you start to read, just you ask the question your own self. What is sonnet? Sonnet is a little song or a little poem which is written in 14 lines iambic pentameter. Now question, what is iambic? Iambic is nothing. It is one unstressed syllable is followed by stressed syllable. Okay. I have already discussed with you, and when I will discuss with you the all sonnet and sonnetteers or sonnet writers, then I will discuss you broadly. Now, during Elizabethan period, most of the sonnet writers wrote sonnet for whom? This is a very important question. Just look at your previous year question, then you can find out. So, first we start with Edmund Spenser. Edmund Spenser wrote Amorety. For whom? For whom he wrote? He wrote for Elizabeth Boyle. Just write down the name. Very important thing. You should keep in your mind. Elizabeth Boyle. Amorety. Next, you have Earl of Surrey, whose another name is very important, Henry Howard. So Henry Howard and Earl of Surrey. Okay, there his sonnet sequence is called as Turtle's Miscellany. Write down Turtle's Miscellany. Very important thing. For whom he writes? He writes for his beloved or lady lover, Elizabeth Fitzgerald. Now my question, those writers wrote like Philip Sidney. I am talking about Philip Sidney. Philip Sidney wrote Astrophel and Stella. Astrophel and Stella. And he has also important contributions, Arcadia. Now my question, for whom he wrote Astrophel and Stella? Very important question. For whom he wrote Astrophel and Stella? He wrote Astrophel and Stella for Lady Penelope Devereux. Okay, so these are really very important. How type of question will come in your exam? Like West Bengal said, Gujarat said, or UGC NET December 2025. How type of question will come? Philip Sidney wrote Astrophel and Stella for whom? Lady Penelope Devereux. Next question, Edmund Spenser wrote Amorety for whom? Elizabeth Boyle. Next question, Earl of Surrey wrote Henry Howard. Henry Howard, his name, wrote Turtle's Miscellany for whom? Elizabeth Fitzgerald. Okay, and you all know that it was William Shakespeare who wrote 154 sonnets for whom? W.H. and you say, okay, this is your home assignment. For whom William Shakespeare wrote? I will discuss with you later on. Okay, each and everything. Anybody knows this? Please tell me. Next, I am going to discuss with you how many students and friends in our live class? Okay. So now the most important thing, now I am going to discuss with you the another thing. This is universe weights. Okay. Now my question, we completed chronologically the major and most important aspects that we have to cover, we have to read. So now my question, university weights. You all know that in Elizabethan period, theater was opened for the first time, for public. In which year? It is 1578. Who established? Burbage brothers. Write down this. Burbage brothers. Okay. They have taken the permission from Elizabeth I. That means Queen Elizabeth. Okay. Have taken the permission from Queen Elizabeth. 1578. For the first time, theatre was published. And who are university wits? They are playwrights. They are playwrights. They are dramatists. They wrote for theatres. So now my questions, who are they? Who are university wits? Wits means intelligent, knowledgeable people, knowledgeable persons, knowledgeable writers. Okay. So now my question is, university wits, why they are called as university wits? Very important thing is they are called as university wits because they started from the University of Cambridge and University of Oxford. So who are university wits? There are approximately 7 writers. How many writers? 7 writers who are together with called as university wits. Why? Because of their writing style, patterns, themes, motifs, mood. Okay. So that's why they are called as university wits, and wits mean intelligent. Okay. So now the most important thing is that who are they? Who are university wits? University wits are, just you write down the name. John Lilly, George Peele, Robert Greene, Thomas Lodge, Thomas Nash, Thomas Kidd, and finally Christopher Marlowe. Very important writer, you all know that. So John Lilly, George Peel, Robert Greene, Thomas Lodge, Thomas Ness, and you have Thomas Kidd and Christopher Marlowe. So now this is stupid question, but sometimes they ask stupid questions like who among them who come from Oxford, among them who come from Cambridge. So Cambridge, the writers among them who came from Cambridge, University of Cambridge, and who come from Oxford. First, you should keep in your mind one writers who didn't come from neither in Cambridge nor in Oxford. Who? Anyone, any idea? Please write in the comment section. It is Thomas Kidd. Just write down. Thomas Kidd did not come from the University of Cambridge or did not come from University of Oxford. Okay. So the most important thing is, so you have 6 writers. Apart from Thomas Kidd, you have 6 writers. 3 come from Cambridge, 3 come from Oxford. So Cambridge, you have Christopher Marlowe. Just write down this. Christopher Marlowe. Okay. Thomas Lodge. And Thomas Ness. Okay. Next, who come from University of Oxford? They are Green, Peel, Lilly. Okay, that means Robert Greene, George Peel, and John Lilly. Okay, do you understand what I am speaking? Now the most important things, what we have to read. আমাদের কি কি পড়তে হবে এই সমস্ত লেখকদের, this is very important. I am starting with John Lilly. Again I say I am starting with John Lilly. Very important thing. You have to read his one play Endymion, where he talks about Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth. Endymion, very important, you should keep in your mind. Endymion. Okay. Next you have to read Euphues or the Anatomy of Wheat. The Anatomy of Wheat. Okay, Euphues or the Anatomy of Wheat, very important. And then you should keep in your mind Euphues and his England. Okay, these are very important things you should keep in your mind. When I am talking about John Lilly, I will discuss with you each and everything. University weights, who are university weights, they are all contributions. I will discuss with you properly and broad way. Okay, just you should keep in your mind, you have to cover this thing. If you do not go broadly, just read the name Endymion, Euphues or the Anatomy of Wheat, Euphues and his England. This is very important. If you don't want to go to read properly or broadly, okay, you just read the name, you just memorize the name, recall the name. Okay, next we have to read John Lilly, then Robert Greene. Write down the name. Robert Greene. Okay, so Robert Greene, 2 things you should keep in your mind: fire Just write down Friar Bacon and Friar Bungay. Very important writings you should keep in your mind. And Pendosto, Pastoral Romans. Robert Greene, Pastoral Romans, Pendosto. Just write down Pastoral Romans. We will discuss with you what is Pastoral Romans, each and everything. So just write down, just recall this name, memorize this name. This is very important. Okay? Friar Bacon and Friar Bungay and then Pendosto, which is a Pastoral Romans. You should keep in your mind. Okay? Next, we are talking about George Peele. Write down George Peele. He wrote very important writings. The love between Team David, sorry, not Team David, it is Australian cricketer Team David. Don't write this. It's a King David. Between King David and Fire Bathsheba. Very important thing you should keep in your mind. George Peele. The love between King David and Fire Bathsheba. Very important thing you should keep in your mind. Okay. Next we have to read Thomas Lodge. Thomas Lodge and Thomas Kidd. Thomas Lodge. Just write down Rosalinde. Okay. This is the class, and in this way you have to read this. If you think that I have to crack UGC NET, okay, if you think I have to crack UGC NET December 2025 or West Bengal SET or Gujarat SET, I have to read in this way. This is the study which is totally based on quality, not in quantity. How much video, how much class I will take. This is not most important thing. The most important thing, how much quality is included in my classroom. This is very important. On the behalf of BANI NETSHALA, I am talking about that. I am Haridash Mondol. I am giving you the most important previous year question. Okay, so these you should keep in your mind. This is very important thing. Next we have to read Thomas Kidd. Spanish tragedy, very important. Spanish tragedy. And it is called as that he is the father of, just write down father, or you can say founder of romantic tragedy. And you all know that Spanish tragedy, William Shakespeare got influenced by Spanish tragedy and wrote Hamlet after the death of his son. You all know that Spanish tragedy. Here you can find out William Shakespeare Hamlet. In the Spanish tragedy, Thomas Kidd for the first time introduced revenge. It is also called as revenge tragedy. It is also called as revenge tragedy. I am just looking for your comments Any comments, any question, any query? If you have any query, any question, just write in the comment section. I will give you the answer of that. Okay. So till now there is no comment. I'm just waiting for you. Just ask your question, your query. If you have query, if you have any question, just tell me the question. Okay. Now this is romantic tragedy, father or founder of romantic tragedy. Okay, Thomas Kidd. Now the most important writers you all know, he is Christopher Marlowe. He is Christopher Marlowe. 26th February 1564. Birth data is very important. His birthday is really very important. Birthday of Christopher Marlowe. Christopher Marlowe. 26th February 1564, his birthday. Very, very important. You should keep in your mind. And he died in 1593. This is also very important. Fake date. It is called as fake death of Christopher Marlowe. Okay. So this is really very important. I will discuss with you each and everything. When we actually talk about the relationship between Christopher Marlowe, the conspiracy theory between Christopher Marlowe and William Shakespeare. We will talk each and everything. Now, 26 February, baptized. Okay, there is, you all know baptization. What is baptization? After 3 days from birthday, there is a ritual which is called as baptizations. You all know that. So 26 February baptized. So he actually was born in 23rd February according to the record. Okay. So now when we are talking about Christopher Marlowe, he wrote only tragedy. Just you should keep in your mind. He wrote tragedy. The very, very important thing is Tamburlaine the Great. It is based on Timur or Timur Long. You all know that he is the conqueror of Central Asia. Okay. So based on real King Timur or Timur Long. Okay. So this is Timur or Timur Long based on this play Tamburlaine the Great. Next I am discuss with you Jew of Malta. Jew of Malta. Then you have Dr. Faustus. Okay. So in Dr. Faustus, it is Christopher Marlowe who says in this way, quote unquote, just write down this. The stars move still, time runs, the clock will strike, the devil will come, and Faustus must be damned. Very, very important quotation you should keep in your mind. The stars move still, time runs, the clock will strike, the devil will come, and Faustus must be damned. Very, very important quotation, Dr. Faustus. Okay, previous year question. This quotation is very important. I will provide you all quotation, the important quotation which is really very important for your upcoming exam. maybe Gujarat side, maybe West Bengal side or net. Okay, don't worry. So just you think about the stars move still, time runs, the clock will strike, the devil will come, and Faustus must be damned. Okay. On the other line, you have another lines. Just you write down. I am writing the quotation from Dr. Faustus. Okay. Another most important quotation. One drop, one drop would save, one drop would save my soul. This is told by Dr. Faustus. One drop would save my soul. Half of a drop, oh my Christ. Okay, when I will talk with you, when I will discuss with you Dr. Faustus, I will give you complete answer, complete patterns, complete each and everything. Okay, one drop would save my soul, half of a drop, oh my Christ. When we will talk about, we will discuss about Dr. Faustus, I will give you each and everything. Okay, so just you write down these two quotations. These two quotation is really very important. It comes from Dr. Faustus. The star moves still, time runs, the clock will strike, the devil will come, and Faustus must be damned. One drop would save my soul, half of a drop, oh my Christ. Very important lines you should keep in your mind. Next, the most famous playwrights, not only in the England but also in the world, William Shakespeare. Just I am writing some most or major contributions of William Shakespeare. You write down the name, and you all know that some students who come from very ordinary background, I don't know, in their colleges they have actually faced these or that, I don't know. Just write down William Shakespeare. And in this video I do not talk about William Shakespeare because it's a broad subject. Okay, I have to take 3, 4 or 5 classes only for William Shakespeare, and next I will discuss with you only William Shakespeare, about his drama, his style, his patterns, etc. Okay, so it is William Shakespeare. Just write down. He wrote tragedy, comedy, and he invented tragicomedy. Just you write down tragicomedy. There is a mixture, is a synthesization between comedy and tragedy. That's why it is called as tragicomedy. Okay. So now I am writing William Shakespeare's 4 greatest contributions or major works. Tragedy, you know, Hamlet. Just write down Othello, King Lear, Macbeth, Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth. Then you write down The Tempest. We have to read The Tempest from the post-colonial perspectives. Okay, when we will discuss with you post-colonialism. What is post-colonialism? The result of the post-colonialism. Okay, each and everything. Then I will actually take the references from The Tempest. Okay, so now tragicomedy, Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth. These are really very important. You just read this as you like it. 12th Night, Comedy of Errors. Those are also important. Okay, these are really very important. Next, I will give you some historical importance years, some years where some historical incidents happened, and very important. You all know that Elizabethan period is called as Renaissance period. Why? This period is called as Renaissance because of exploration, navigation, you have printing press, you have mercantile capitalism, so each and everything, and you have a great chain of being. This is also important, great chain of being. Okay, great chain of being. And you all know that previous night when I was teaching you, I have told you that the Spanish Armada, why the Spanish Armada was defeated, the exact reason. Some book says that some kind of thought. You all know that the relationship between the Spanish king and the Queen Elizabeth, and Queen Elizabeth refused his proposal. As a matter of fact, he attacked, and finally he was defeated, and his Spanish Armada was defeated in which year? 1588. It's very important. 1588 Spanish Armada. Just write down. Spanish Armada was defeated. Okay, was defeated. Write down this. These are really very important. Spanish Armada was defeated in 1588. 1600 mercantile capitalism, as I am talking about. So 1600 establishment of East India Company. And you all know the result of East India Company, the arriving of East India Company in India. You all know that 1757, that means 1707, the death of Aurangzeb. Okay, and 1757, it is very important from Indian perspective, because in this year Palsi War, which is in Bengali term Palashir Juddho, you all know that the war is happened between the East India Company led by Robert Clive and our Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla. You all know this. Okay, that's why Rabindranath Tagore says Boniker Mandando Dekha Dilo Rajdando Rupe. Okay, and you all know that this is a very good poem. Boniker Mandando Dekha Dilo Rajdando Rupe. Mercantile capitalism established in 1600, and they went for another country, try to capture them, started to imperialism, etc. and etc. And now the most important thing is in 1757 they actually come here in India for dealing purposes. Now they actually take the power, started to rule over the India, and we all know the result of this defeat or loss. You all know that. So now the most important thing is that, so another thing is very important. In 1584, Sir Walter Raleigh, very important thing you should keep in your mind. Walter Raleigh, actually he set up Virginia, first American colony. Very important thing you should keep in your mind. First American colony. Okay. Next, 1599 Globe Theatre. Very important. 1599 Globe Theatre. I will make you a video only for the Elizabethan theatres. On the basis of Elizabethan theatres, I will make you a video. Don't worry, don't take tension. Okay, so 1599 you have Globe Theatre. It is also called as that, it is the Shakespearean theatre. All the plays actually occurred in this Globe Theatre. Okay, and it is 1578 for the first time Burbage brother and the name Charles Burbage, who established the public theatre. It is private theatre, but it is actually public theatre for public, because you know that you have, when I am talking about just Elizabethan period, before Elizabethan period you have morality play, you have miracle play, you have interludes, mystery play, all happened in where? Performed in church. But now it comes out in the queens or kings. They personally watched this. Okay, so you know that king's man, queen's man, Queen Elizabeth has her own actually players, or you can say performers. So 1578 for private theatre, but it was invented, it was discovered for the public. Okay, 1578, and the theater is called the theater. Very important thing you should keep in your mind. The theater. Okay. So you have Globe Theater, you have the theater. Now 1592 to 1594. This is the time period. Outbreak of plague. Just write down. Outbreak of plague. Outbreak of plague. And that's why this time all the theater were closed. Okay. And this theater again started after 1594. And you all know that 1593 Marlowe's death. Fake death. Okay. A lot of conspiracy are there. Okay. Next, I am talking about, and 1603, just you write down two more important or major important years. 1603, the date of Queen Elizabeth. Just write down the date of Queen Elizabeth. The date of Queen Elizabeth, 1603. And 1605, gunpowder plot. Gunpowder plot. Okay. After the death of Queen Elizabeth, James, one thing, 1603, the death of Queen Elizabeth, but when the Queen Elizabeth come to reign, come to rule over the England, it is 1558. Just write down this. 1558 started to rule over England. Okay. Any query? Any question? I'm just waiting for your reply. I'm watching your reply. Any comments? No. Okay. Sorry, it is James VI who come from Scotland, who came from Scotland and started to rule over England after the death of Queen Elizabeth. Okay, and this period you all know, 1603 to 1625, it is called as Jacobean period. Just write down. Write down this Jacobean period. Okay, in this Jacobean period, the most important thing which happened, this is gunpowder plot 1605 and 1611. Very important thing. First authorized version of Bible, King James Bible. Write down King James Bible. I am just writing the first authorized version Bible. First authorized version of Bible, published in 1611 by King James. Okay. Write down this. Next, I am talking. I will discuss with you after Bible. I will discuss with you the most important thing. In Jacobean period, you can find out one writers. Very major and very important writers in the history of English language and literature. He is Ben Jonson. He is Ben Jonson. Okay. Ben Jonson introduced and invented a new kind of comedy which is called city comedy. City comedy, or you can call it as city jail comedy. Why it is called as city comedy? City means London city. This comedy is total based on London city. And why citizen? Citizen, the dwellers of London. The dwellers of London. Okay? So Ben Jonson. And Ben Jonson actually defined the city comedy, or you can say Ben Jonson defined the citizen comedy in his famous writings or contribution, The Alchemist. Write down The Alchemist, which is actually published in 1610. In this Alchemist, Ben Jonson said that our scene is London, write down quote unquote, our scene is London, cause we would make known, just write down this. Our scene is London, cause we would make known no country's mark is better than our own. So it is very clear to you that our scene is London. So the city of comedy is totally based on the city London and the dwellers of London city. That's citizen comedy or comedy. So one thing you should keep in your mind, as I am talking about Ben Jonson, the Alchemist, which is published in 1610, he defined the city comedy or citizen comedy, in which way he said that our scene is London, cause we would make known. Okay, our scene is London, cause we would make known no country's mark is better than our own. Very important line you should keep in your mind. So now it is very clear to you, this is Ben Jonson. After the greatest writers like Christopher Marlowe, Thomas Nash, Thomas Kidd, George Peele, Robert Greene, then you have William Shakespeare, then the greatest playwright Ben Jonson came, and Ben Jonson started to invent a new kind of writings which is called as city comedy. You know that it is the another name of city comedy is citizen comedy. Why it is city comedy? It is based on the London city. Why it is citizen comedy? It is based on the life of the dwellers of London city. That's why it is city comedy. And Ben Jonson himself defined the city comedy that our scene is London, cause we would make no country's mark is better than our own. So very, very important, just to write down the quotation. The quotation is really very, very important. Next, in this way, the students who are taking preparation for your upcoming NET set, maybe WB set or Gujarat set, no problem, or NET, you should keep in your mind one thing, that you have to crack this. If you want to crack it, if you want to get success, so you have to follow my rules. On the behalf of BANI NETSHALA, I am teaching you the most important things, the most important aspects that will help you to crack your NET. Okay, just you read this, that will give you the power, the consistency, and even the strength to crack this. Okay, so now I am talking very important thing, that some writers in England who got interested, who got attracted by the writing style of Ben Jonson, So now my question is, who are they? They are, just write down the name of the writers: Thomas Middleton, Thomas Middleton, Thomas Haywood, John Day, John Webster, John Marston. So you have Thomas Middleton, you have Thomas Haywood, John Day, John Webster, John Marston. So now the most important thing is, if the question will come in your exam, how type of question will come exactly from there? The question will come that just who are odd in city committee. You have to write, you have to choose. Okay, or maybe you can say they can ask you the questions, who are the pair who actually associated with, who are associated with city committee. So you should keep in your mind Thomas Middleton, Thomas Haywood, John Day, John Webster, John Marston. Not important, just memorize the name column. Try to understand the name. And they were got attracted by whom? Ben Jonson. And Ben Jonson invented city committee. You all know this or that. Now, Ben Jonson, the most famous city committee is Bartholomew Fair. Okay, and here Ben Jonson said that city committee is considered as, let's write down, city committee is considered as the hotbed of vice and folly. Just write down Bartholomew Fair, city committee 1614. Just write down 1614 it was published. Written by whom? Ben Jonson. Okay, Bartholomew Fair 1614. He told city committee is considered as the hotbed of vice and folly. City committee is considered as the hotbed of vice and folly. Okay. Next day we will start from there. Okay. We will start from there. Bartholomew Fair, we stop here. City committee. Okay. Next day we will start from there. Okay. So if you have any query, any question, you can ask me the question. Just you go your comment section, type whatever you want to know, and I will provide you the answer. Okay. Good night.